Nicola. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts and experiences with us as we celebrate International Women's Day. Before we dive in, how are you doing today?
I'm not doing too bad. I'm just in the middle of getting over a cold, so my voice is a bit rough.
You're good. Yeah, I understand that. You're good. Perfect. So before we dive into our conversation, I'd love for our audience to get to know you a little bit better. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and your role at Algeos?
My name's Nicola Beswick. I work as an international procurement executive at Algeos. We manufacture lots of dietary items. We do pediatric stuff and physiotherapy items as well as we sell out to the NHS and private clinics throughout the UK and all over Europe and the Far East as well. I've come from a background of textile industries. I've worked for over 20 years as a senior merchandiser, so got a lot of dealings with purchase orders, working with shipments, dealing with different types of customers with all their demands, making sure the goods come in on time in store and stuff. So
yeah, perfect.
Quite busy.
That's great. Yeah, when you talk about the health industry, I really love that because it has a huge impact on our social. So when you look at I was just checking what about the products that you're offering and you supplying for UK. Yeah, that's quite impressive. Great. So let's start our interview and let me ask you. Let's start with a big question. So International Women's Day means different things to different people. So what does it personally mean to you?
Well, so for me, I've just thought, well, it starts off giving the women the right to get equal pay, good working hours, and the right to vote. You know, because everybody should have a right to say or something. You know, we're all equal.
Yeah. So how has been your your journey and your experience during the last years? Do you think that it has changed? Do you see any progress in that?
I've not experienced anything really bad during my working career. We've all worked as a team or as become as like a family. We get on with each other and we help each other out. And most of my working time has been mostly surrounded by women. There's been a few men in the industry as well, but they just join in, they get along. So I've not come across anything really.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So the other question that I have, throughout your career and life, I'm sure you have encountered inspiring women. And if you had to pick one woman who has influenced or inspired you the most, who would be and why?
Well, I thought about my mum because she worked hard. She worked for the NHS as a nurse, so she's cared for the sick, the old, the young. She put a lot of hours into her job. She became a qualified midwife as well. I mean, she's done lots of talks throughout the UK, going to Europe, doing talks as well. And her colleagues really thought well of her. And the clinic that she ran, when she came to retire, the colleagues begged her not to go because she was such a wonderful person, a wonderful boss, because she looked after her staff. And when you've got a good manager looking after your staff, you've got good teamwork and everything ticks over and there's no issues. So I always look at her because she had a wonderful life working and has met so many different people and they all talk about her. So to me, she's the person.
Okay, interesting, great. So what is your favorite quote by a woman and why?
I thought of one by Jane Austen because I do like Jane Austen, and it isn't what we say or think that defines us, but what we do. So I think whatever we do in life, whether we've got ups or downs, it makes us a better person going forward, and we can pass on our experience to other members of the family or friends, colleagues. That's what I like about this.
Okay, thank you. Great. And many young women are stepping into industries like logistics, procurement, and business. What's one key piece of advice or encouragement you would give them as they start their careers?
I think if you've got something in mind that you want to aim for, go for it. Look at what you need to do, what path you need to go down, and you just try and try. I mean, sometimes you might get knocked back because in life there are ups and downs, but you just got to persevere with what you want, because eventually you will get there. You've just got to be patient. Because that's what I used to say to myself. If it took me a little time to get somewhere, I said, no, I'm going to do this. I will get there eventually. I've just got to take each step at a time going forward. And you get there. You've
Okay,
just got to have
perfect.
patience.
Yeah, and do you have any personal experiences to share about the challenges or like the things you mentioned to share with them? Any personal memories
Well,
or experiences?
the one thing I think of is the year 2020. That's the year I wanted to get. Because obviously the company I worked for at the time, it went into administration and it was bang on just before going to lockdown. So I had no job, and then coming out of the lockdown, just trying to get a job. I persevered. I was chasing interviews, chasing companies, chasing agencies, and I just said to myself, I will get there eventually in the end. And eventually I found a job at Algeos, and it was the best job ever.
Oh,
Just
perfect.
persevering. Like I said to
Yeah.
myself, there's a light at the end of the tunnel somewhere. I've just got to find it.
Wow, interesting. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that with us. And Visiwise, as you know, is a tech company, so we really value technology and innovation. I want to ask this question that there's a big focus on innovation and technology as a way to bridge the equality gaps. From your perspective, what does it mean in your world, especially in like maybe logistics and supply chain? How innovation and technology can help?
But we're looking to sort of incorporate everything into the systems. So at the moment, we're trying to get Visiwise linked into our SAP system, and then another courier system to get it linked in as well, using different platforms. So everything's in one place, so it gives off the correct readings. Because at the moment, I'm hounded to death with delivery dates. So if we can have the technology tracking the shipments and giving a more accurate or thereabouts ETA arrival of, then we can let customers know briefly then you should receive your goods by such a date. So that we're looking to bring more technology into the workplace.
Okay, thank you so much. Great. Yeah, I agree with you definitely. And in different aspects, we really need the technology to step in and revolutionize the way that we are like it can help our life in different ways and different aspects. So, while there has been progress, we know that challenges still exist. From your experience, what do you think are some of the biggest hurdles that women face in this industry, like warehousing, I don't know, logistics, supply chain, working in ports and different. We all of us we know that supply chain and logistics is a really stressful career. So, some of the like challenges or hurdles that you probably are aware of. Do you have any to share with us?
It can be frustrating when you got goods stuck at customs and you're trying to chase and find out details, but then your forwarder's there trying to get the details as well, and it's just I find different European customs have different rules, and some of them are not straightforward. And you're just thinking, well, this shipment should only take so many days to transport, and it goes into like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, all because of customs, because they're too busy doing something else, or there's not enough staff on, taking their time, not realising that there's important shipment on these trailers that needs to get to the destination, to point A. That's frustrating for me sometimes, because I've got people then chasing me, wanting to know, and I say, look, I can only tell you what I know. I'm trying to find out more information, but I'm struggling to get the information. That is really frustrating. But there's nothing you can do. Customs, it's out of our control.
That makes sense. Yeah, I know. Okay, thank you. And my last question is, looking ahead, what are your hopes for gender diversity in our industry, like in supply chain and logistics, and what kind of changes would you love to see in the next 5 or 10 years?
Oh gosh, it's a difficult one. Well, obviously, I think AI is going to come into it a lot. I think you have to be careful that it doesn't overtake, because you do need both genders working together and with technology all coming together. Just got to be careful that doesn't really take over, because I think human beings work better. You get more profitability, creativity out of people more than you would say I think. Because you can't guarantee them giving correct information. Yeah, it is something that we are talking about, and we're all a bit wary of this new technology that might come. When it'll happen, don't know. But I know everybody's wanting to get it in the company. But I think you do need people there as well to oversee things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I've been always thinking about how technology can reshape our industry. So you mentioned AI, which I've been hearing, which I've been like checking that on different ideas and different things that is happening in the industry. So, and sometimes when we talk to people who don't know they don't know about global supply chain and logistics, they get really surprised when they understand that in our industry there is a lot of manual work, there is a lot of like frustration, and I should say sometimes they think that the way that you trace a shipment when you order from Amazon or other service providers, when you order something online for yourself and you trace that, they think that in the global supply chain it's the same, but it isn't. You know, we all know that it's when you want to get, as you mentioned, the customs, when you want to get your products and your goods from the origin country to your warehouse, you have to pass two customs and probably different ports, and on the vessel, and many other parties are involved. So hopefully technology, as you mentioned, technology will step in and revolutionize that and makes it really easy. This is Visiwise vision. We envision a world where shipping globally is as simple as local delivery, which means that the way that you just order something and you get in a few hours, we don't want that to happen like in a few hours, but we want that comfort, and that's the way that you feel easy when you order something. We want to have that also in the industry. So do you think that in the next 5 or 10 years that would be a vision happening in the industry, or do you think that we have a really complex industry that we have to deal with it like right now in the future too?
I think it could be within, 10 years or so, maybe more, because I think there's more details that needs to be looked at. Um, yeah, I think it'll come in eventually. How soon, I couldn't say, but because everything's working quite fast, we're evolving quite fast, aren't we? The technology's evolving quite fast, so I'd reckon it would be in within 10 years or so.
Okay. Yeah, okay, perfect. So thank you so much, Nicola. This has been an amazing conversation. I really appreciate you sharing your insights, experiences, and wisdom with us today. Before we wrap up, is there any final message you would like to share with women who might be watching this? So just want to say that we have audiences globally in different countries, and I understand that you also have been traveling to different countries because you are in the global supply chain and global logistics. I understand. I know that you have been traveling to India, to China. So imagine, do you have a message using this opportunity to talk to other women all around the world, not just your country, as a final
No,
word?
I think I'll just say whatever your dream is, don't give up. Just keep following it. It may take time, but just keep following your dream and you'll get there eventually.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you again for your
Okay.
time and for, yeah, go ahead.
So thank you. I mean, I'm very croaky, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I understand that. We appreciate that you didn't reschedule or cancel our meeting. And we value that a lot. Thank you so much. And for all the work you do, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. And I'm sure your words will inspire many people. Wishing you a wonderful International Women's Day.
Okay, thank you.